Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the English news from Djibouti channel. Here are the top stories of our editions tonight. The head of state presides the 80th meeting of the Council of Ministers today. In Libya, attack again the Libyan Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That were our top stories, and if you join us, welcome. Under the presidency of the head of state, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, head of government, held today, Tuesday, the last council of the minister of the current year 2018. The three questions were on the agenda of this council. The first question related to the ratifications of 3.5 billion agreement with the World Bank for the implementations of the Zero Slum project.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Sous la présidence du chef de l'État, son Excellence M. Ismail Omar Guelleh, s'est tenue la 18e séance du Conseil des ministres en ce mardi 25 décembre 2018. Étaient inscrites à l'ordre du jour 12 questions.
Under the chairmanship of the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, has been held this morning the 18 sessions of Ministers' Council. Today, 12 bills were on the agenda. The first question is about the bill ratifying a loan agreement for the integrated slum clearance project in the country. This concessional loan from the International Development Associations of the World Bank Group, amounting 3.5 million Djiboutian francs to finance projects aimed at improving the living conditions of slum dwellers in selected urban areas. The project has three main components: the development of the strategy framework for the Zero Slum program and the design of an investment plan, participatory rehabilitation investment in selected urban areas, and the management of the project itself. The implementations of the project will be the responsibility of the Urban Rehabilitation Agency, better known as ARULOS. The second bill is related to a draft decree on the organizations of the Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship, known as CLE, as the key acronym for the government's economic. The second bill is related to a draft decree on the organizations of the Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship for the government's economic and development policy orientations, which is structured around sectors that are capable of serving the local, regional, and international markets. These guidelines must be based on institutions in charge for reconciling client demand and service provision. The development of markets in sector in which Djibouti has comparative advantage through entrepreneurship. This remains a priority for the government to ensure sustained growth and enable the country to achieve its objectives. This is the purpose of the creation of this center, whose activity will focus primarily on coordinating and reforming entrepreneurship and business development programs, promoting awareness and development activity for young entrepreneurs with support for business incubation, and boosting the climate creation sector, thus stimulating the competitiveness of the private sector in the above-mentioned areas. The third and fourth bill is about a draft on the adoptions of the financial account of Djibouti International Airport for the year 2015 and 2016. The airport's accounts are established at 3.8 million Djiboutian francs and are in charge to 3.1 million Djiboutian francs for the year 2016. The airport's accounts show a revenue of 3 billion Djiboutian francs and an expense of 2 billion Djiboutian francs. The fifth bill is about a drafted decree approving the provisional budget for the People's Palace for the year 2019. The 2019 budget for the People's Palace is 367 million Djiboutian francs. The annual subsidies allocated by the state is 245 million Djiboutian francs. The sixth bill concerns a drafted decree approving the investment code for the New Society Beninvestment. This company has launched an integrated investment program consisting of cement productions and marketing plan and the development of 30-hectare site at Venice Road for the construction of a shopping center and a hotel complex. This company has just acquired the Kempinski Hotel, for which It plans to extend and modernize its service and facilities. The new society, through its investments, will generate added value for the national economy. It will contribute to the development of tourism and permanent employment opportunities for our population in accordance with the national strategy, which is to combat unemployment and poverty. The seventh bill is related to a draft decree allocating a plot of land for the Ministry of Religious Affairs. This plot of land, located at Neighborhood 6, covers an area of 1,395 square meters and is intended for the establishment of a mosque called the Darar Mosque.
A plot of land of 3 hectares have been granted that was awarded to the Ministry of Muslims Affairs of Waqf Culture and Property. The 2090 draft budget for the undergraduate teacher training center was also approved.
La 8e question est relative à un projet d'arrêté pour approuvant et rendant exécutoire le budget prévisionnel pour l'exercice 2019.
The eighth bill is a draft decree approving and implementing the provisional budget for the year 2019 of the Teacher Training and Basic Education Center. The 2019 budget for this training center amount of 200 million Djiboutian francs. The ninth bill concerned a draft decree adopting the draft budget estimated for the year 2019 of the Djibouti Radio Television. The 2019 Djibouti Radio Television stands at 1.7 billion Djiboutian francs. In 2019, the Djibouti Radio Television is planning to inaugurate the new Diary Mission Center, the Radio Television Relay Center in Dakhil, the multi-complex in Arta Center, optimizing the multi-complexer in the capital city. Stations will empower the Somali and Afar national channels, which will broadcast continuously 24/7. It will create the 4th FM radio station to broadcast program in French and Arabic, and the operations of hundreds for the documentary made in Djibouti. The 10th bill concerned a draft decree adopting the draft budget estimated for the year 2019 of the Djibouti National Printing House. The estimated revenue stands at 494 billion Djiboutian francs and the expenditure at 474 million Djiboutian francs. The 11th bill is a drafted decree on the organizations and functioning of the CIAF Real Estate and Development Company in the context of the implementations of the National Housing Strategy. Institutional reframing has been necessary to best meet the expectations of our fellow citizens in terms of better provision of decent housing and service plots. The missions of the latter will be to implement the policies adopted by the government in terms of land development and land use. The 12th bill is a draft decree approving the provisional budget for the 2019 financial year of the Urban Rehabilitation and Social Housing Agency, better known as ARULOS. The ARULOS 2019 budget amount at 3 billion Djiboutian francs, with a net profit of 2 billion Djiboutian francs.
France yesterday thanked the Djiboutian authorities for the arrested and deportations to Paris from the alleged terrorist Peter Sharif. In a statement used by the Quai d'Orsay, the French Department of Foreign Affairs welcomed the quality of the interventions of the security services in Djibouti and the perfect coordination that has been established with the intelligence services and security in France. The expulsions to Paris of Peter Sharif took place without incident. According to the Quai d'Orsay, the arrest of Peter Sharif is a victory in the fight against terrorism. Already convicted in France in 2011, Peter Sharif will answer for his action in the French courts. After having submitted yesterday to the head of state the report of activities on the balance sheet of the actions carried out by the ombudsman to reconcile or amicably settle the dispute between some of our fellow citizens with the services of the central administration. The head of institutions, Dr. Qasim Ishaq Osman, forwarded a copy of this report to the speakers of the National Assembly, Mr. Mohammed Ali Hamad. The report contains all information relating to the handling of complaints, the majority of which have been resolved to the benefit of the applicants. A broad discussions on mutilation at the community level was held under the impetus and at the initiative of Mrs. Moumina Hamad Hassan, the Minister of Women and Family. A forum was launched yesterday on importance of against the mutilation. These must enable the different communities groups to join together and raise funds together to launch the project. The Union National of Women, Djiboutians Women, hosted a community meeting this morning to discuss issues related to the health of the mothers and child and the harmful consequences of female genital mutilations. The meeting was attended by the Vice President of UNFD, Mrs. Hasna Ahmed Bilal, as well as the Secretary General, Mrs. Fatuma Musa. Women parliamentarians and all the coordinators and of the community management of the capital and the interiors regions took place, participated. The purpose of this meeting was mainly to discuss the well-being of the child, its conditions of survival during the first year after its birth, finally the first fight against all forms of female genital mutilations. A fire quickly circumscribed occurred yesterday afternoon around 4 p.m. in District 6. Fortunately, firefighters from the Civil Protection Department quickly intervened on the scene to extinguish the fire. However, 2 wooden houses were damaged and destroyed by the fire. 2 other houses were partially affected by the flames. Material damage has been recorded by this incident, and investigations was open to determine the origin of the fire. In Ali Sabih region, the Djiboutian Associations for the Support of Diabetics and the associations called Harset jointly organized an awareness campaign on the chronic diseases on its management. This awareness meeting on diabetes was held at the headquarters of the Regional Council of the city of Ali Sabih. And now let's move on continental news. The first gendarme was seriously injured and had to be operated on both and serious back injury and had trauma, according to the Foreign Affairs Minister Fabius, who visited Square. He should be brought back to France shortly. The second policeman was shocked by the place affected. According to the diplomatic source contacted by Le Monde, the embassy is destroyed 60% and 7 to 8 cars around the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Tripoli, capital of Libya. This source stated that was a red alert given the situation in the area since our interventions, said the source. And on the other hand, Senegalese and Nigerians will be called to the polls in February next year to elect their president. This deadline preoccupy the economic community of West African state. She called for free, peaceful and transparent election in both countries. And this ECOWAS appeals to address in particular to the body in charge of the organization of election in the 2 countries. Here we arrive at the end of this news today. Thank you for watching us. Have a good bye.